Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transports. So today we're having a look at a die-cast model car. And this is a model by Rio. Rio is an Italian manufacturer of model cars. I don't know if they're still in business. Let's check. I'm looking at the computer. Modelli Rio 1,43. Is Rio still in business? Rio. Accept. Yes, I think Rio. Yes, Rio is still in business. Yes. Yes. Rio is still in business. Okay, so I just wanted to check that out. So it's a Rio model. This dates back to the 1980s, and it was given to me by my aunt when I was around 9-10, and you can see that I was already collecting. Even when I was a kid, I was distinguishing. When I started sort of towards 10, I realized what was a toy car was one thing and a model car was another thing when I began being interested in models. So this is still in absolutely perfect condition. Well, it was until yesterday. So it's a Fiat 8 cavalli, 8 HP, dating back to 1901. And I'll just give a little potted history. I've got the Italian Wikipedia page open in front of me. So the Fiat 8 horsepower was in production between 1901 and 1902. It was the last Fiat designed by the engineer Aristide Faccioli. You can look everything up on Wikipedia. Fiat 8 HP, 8 horsepower. And it had a 2-cylinder inline engine with a capacity displacement of 1082 cubic centimeters with 2 valves per cylinder. It had a power of 10 brake horsepower, and it could reach a maximum speed of 45 kilometers an hour. It had chain drive, of course, to the rear wheels. So that's a very it came in with various types of bodywork, and but generally it says here various different types of bodywork, and so this is typical. This is like the one that's at the Museo dell'Automobile di Torino, so the Turin Motor Car Museum. That's the car, and here's the model. A very nicely detailed model. Maybe it has a spot of dust on it because of my not very clean showcase, and maybe some other accumulated stuff. So why do we have to repair it? Yesterday they delivered our new fridge, because of course this month with the heat in July, after 7 years, our fridge decided to leave us. Leak of gas, no point in getting it repaired. It wasn't an expensive fridge. So we ordered a new fridge and delivered it yesterday, and I decided to keep one of the glass shelves, specifically the one above the box, the box we keep the vegetables at the bottom of the fridge, because it could be useful for my sort of glass, metal and glass cupboard where I keep all my model cars, which is actually behind me. We'll have to have a look at that in one of the next videos. So they phoned me in the morning, about 20 minutes before delivery. Quickly get the fridge, get everything out. We'd already taken everything out of the fridge. I took a measuring a meter, and let's see how deep the depth of the cupboard is, if this piece of glass fits. And when I was doing things very in a hurry, I knocked this on the floor. Oh, I was mad. Nothing happened. The roof popped off but didn't get damaged, but a headlamp, one of the headlamps broke off. So we're going to repair this now. So we're going to repair it and we're going to see what we can use. So it was a very long, big introduction to this video to actually get to what we want to do. So let's see what we can use. Whether we can use Tamiya cement, or more likely we'll have to use glue and glaze. Let's try with the Tamiya cement first and see what happens. It would be good. I need a pair of tweezers because these things can happen. I mean, this is plastic. The bonnet here is mainly die cast, but with some plastic parts. The dash panel is plastic. The wheels are plastic. The seat is plastic, but it's all mainly on, and this part here, that's also plastic. But it's a combination of die cast. The mud guards are metal, so it's a very nice model. So let's see what we can do. I was very annoyed because I've taken care of it for such a long time and then I drop it on the floor in a hurry. Let's see if we can fix the thing. So I'm popping a spot of Tamiya cement right there. I don't know if Tamiya cement will work with this plastic. I hope so, because it's faster setting than glue and glaze. And okay, I've applied a spot of Tamiya cement there. Let's get our headlamp, and I think I'll just go and do it by hand. You're seeing a good view of my fingers. I think Tamiya cement is no use, because had it been any use it would have already cemented things. Where did the headlamp go? No use, no use, no use, no use. Let's try again. But the heat that is in here probably evaporated because it's solvent. Let's give it another go, but we'll be quicker this time. It's not doing anything. It's not melting the plastic. No use. Okay, plan A. Let's pass to plan B. Plan B is our good old glue and glaze. So we'll put a spot, tiny spot of glue and glaze. In fact, we'll put even a slightly bigger spot of glue and glaze here. Okay, we'll put a spot of glue and glaze, and we'll immediately get a toothpick, apply some glue and glaze. The problem of glue and glaze is that it's, in fact, before doing that, we'll do another thing with glue and glaze. You can see that one of the wheels here is slightly wonky, see? Because in time the plastic has cracked. So I'm going to pull this wheel off first, and I'll put a spot of glue and glaze in there, and that way we'll actually make this wheel sit straight. There. I put a spot of glue and glaze in there, and glue and glaze is excellent for fitting bonding plastic to metal. The axles are made of metal, so we'll just pop that in there like that, and this will stay slightly more okay. I mean, it's still wonky, but at least it's less wonky. Now let's not get it on the axle. That's a very, very unclever thing to do. Okay. So we want to keep that sticking up. So we'll have to put something underneath. doesn't really matter. I mean, I can wet it and then glue and glaze will free. Okay, let's get this done. I'm putting a spot of glue and glaze right here on the dash panel, like that. And then we'll just get our broken part, the headlamp, there you are. And let's close the Tamiya cement before it evaporates completely. Still got some, I'll have to buy some. And we'll pop this in place. In fact, I should have a support here to see what, to raise the operating table. That way we can see, we're a bit closer to the camera. Here we are. I'm just going to go on with the tweezers. It's not a very, it's a bit of a tricky position. It's really annoying that this had to break off, huh? It's really annoying because it's not an easy placement. Glue and glaze will do the job. It'll do the job no problem if we manage to hold it in position. And some people might say, we use super glue. In my experience with super glue is the super glue and plastic, and many types of plastic do not agree. So I'm not even wasting time with super glue. I'm just holding it still. Ooh. It's a very, very tricky position, very bad place to work with. Maybe if I hold it like that for a bit. This is not going anywhere. It's going to be a highly frustrating video. Let's see. You have to trial and error. Problem is that I have to have something to support it in place, and I'm trying to think what I could use. If not, there will be a different kind of repair. Happening? Sort of holding? Nah. No use. Absolutely no use. This is rubbish. I'm wetting the cotton bud, I'm cleaning the glue and glaze, and we'll pass, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking to do at this point, because you always have to have a plan C. So plan A failed, plan B failed, plan C I'll have to see what plan C is, and I'll tell you straight away. I'm cleaning away the excess glue and seeing it's not working. So I can't do it right now because I have to do some measurements, but I'll come back on in another video. So what we can do, this headlamp has to, we'll look at this one, it has to fit on there like that, okay, like that. So the problem is that it's cracked right here. It's all one molding, you see. It's one molding with these brackets, and then the headlamps are glued separately inside. So what I have to do to be able to get this thing to stay on, it's very difficult because the force of gravity pulls it down. Glue and glaze is not an instant cement, and honestly I don't want to use super glue on this because I'm not sure and I don't want to ruin the model. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use a tiny piece of styrene, a small piece of styrene here, fitted onto the dash panel, which will stretch out and act as a bracket, and then I'll be able to fit that piece of styrene will be solid with the dash panel there, and it'll stick out just enough to be able to fit this headlamp onto it. It'll sort of act as a support. And hello, there's a bit. That was a bit that was lying around here since I cut something before. Oops, what's that doing? So that's not the bit of styrene, that's a bit of paper from a decal. So the idea is to fit a small piece here of styrene, because with the styrene we can make a support. The styrene will glue here it'll be very easy, and then we can actually fit the thing on and it'll be supported at the back with styrene. Unless another plan could be, let's see how this thing's made, because the headlamps are a separate molding, you see. I could do an even better job. I could get rid of this broken peg. You see the peg there? I could get rid of that, and I could glue a small piece of copper wire here. That would be fantastic. Wee bit of copper wire. It could even look like a Rio repair on a car, and just let that stick out and fit the headlamp on it. But we wouldn't have the nice flush fit, that's the point. I don't know. I have to see what to do here. It would be really good if I could just fit something on here, and it's a very tricky part. See, it's a very thin part. But I think a bit of styrene would do the job. A bit of styrene, then after I can glue this on and glue it at the back with a styrene, and I could actually do it with the car standing on its, with its pointing the nose up the way on a cradle, and maybe support everything with a clothes peg. So it has to be done in two different stages. Okay, so it wasn't a successful repair, but in the meantime I've succeeded in doing this job here. As long as there's not too much glue, at least the wheel's a bit better. I'll have to sort of let this here set with a clothes peg or something here to stop the wheel from sort of buckling in the way. Okay, that's that. A bit of a long video, but But wait, it was good to have. I think it was interesting to have a look at it together and understand how to solve the problem. If you have any suggestions, any tips, please write so in the comments, and then we'll see what we can do. Cheerio, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.